G'day mates, it's your host Mary O'Neill Phillips and you are listening to Country Outdoors Podcast.
John Morgan, welcome to Country Outdoors Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
First, wanted to say congratulations on the #1.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
cool.
quite a big accomplishment. I absolutely love the song. It's a banger. How did that all come about with Jason as well?
It's funny. It just we put the song out, a couple years ago, just to streaming, and it was just a fun song. And Jason had hit me up kind of during that time. I was like, man, I'd love to try to write something for us to collab on. And I was like, cool. So we tried writing a few things. I don't think either one of us were stoked on anything that we were writing for that. And so during that time, friends kind of just started raising its hand and getting some streams. And so I hit him up and I was like, dude, we should just revisit this one and have you come in on it if you'd like. And, we can change it up a little bit. I was like, the storyline's kind of already there, and I feel like, it fits both of our lanes sonically. So he was like, yeah, let's do it. So.
And to have a #1 on your first album is quite an accomplishment as well.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
No pressure.
Yeah, right. Yep. No, it's been awesome, man. It's been cool seeing all the growth on the road too, and people coming out and knowing the word. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, this is Country Outdoors Podcast, and I have been doing my research on you. I can see that you have been an outdoorsman your entire life.
Yeah.
North Carolina, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want to kind of dig back into that because, you writing with people like Jason Aldean, I'm sure that you gravitate towards people that are of similar cut of cloth and all of that stuff that has to do with our roots and all of that. Been digging, see that you're quite a bow hunter, a quail hunter, sportsman, fisherman, all of that stuff. So can you tell us a little bit about your life growing up, who got you into hunting?
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting for me. I've been on the road playing music since I was like 11. So.
Oh, wow.
There's never really, I had to really dedicate my time to hunting to what I specifically wanted to do because I didn't have a lot of like downtime.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed turkey hunting. That was fun just because you're on the move, I enjoyed that aspect of it. So I did that a little bit growing up. I really didn't get into whitetail hunting until I got out of high school and like into college because that's kind of when I took a break from music and I'd done a lot of small game hunting back home. That's what a lot of guys run dogs for raccoons and bears and everything, right? But
because you're in the Smokies, yeah?
Yeah. I barely kind of got into that for a minute and just didn't have time, but lately in the last 5 or 6 years I've really gotten into bow hunting, and that's kind of been my thing. I'm still waiting to get my first buck with my bow. But
what are you shooting?
I actually just got a brand new Phase 4. Had a buddy send me one, and I'm excited to get it to use. I've been using an old Bowtech, and it's hard to get away from it just because I'm so used to it,
For sure.
I mean? Yeah, but
They make a great bow though. Like most of the bows that are out on the market right now, they're pretty comparable, whether it's a Bowtech or a Matthews or a Hoyt or a Bear. I mean, the engineering now is just so much better than what it used to be.
Yeah.
But obviously people were killing them for a long time with the old bows too.
Yeah, some monsters back in the day.
For sure. So whitetail is like your top, like that's what you're trying for this fall?
Yeah, that's my goal. Again, if I have any days to go, I'm going to try to go this fall because I kind of skipped out last year even. Honestly, turkey season and deer season, I missed pretty much every day. So, I'm hoping to make up for lost time.
That's kind of what I've seen with a lot of my friends in town. It's like, once the success starts happening, you really have to take that with its stride, and then what I have seen is once people start to really pop off and get to like actually create their own schedules, they're creating them around hunting spots that they actually want to be in. And so tour stops, they'll be like, okay, I know I've got this coming up in September and I'm going to be in Kansas or Nebraska or Oklahoma, or where can I slide in a hunt there?
For sure, yeah. I feel like that's what this year's been for me, is making those connections.
For sure.
Right? Like being on tour we've been all over the country
Yeah.
like already this year, and you know, I've just been able to meet a lot of cool people while I'm out there, and you know, have different connections throughout the country, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. You're probably going to start getting offered to hunt in
yeah,
a lot
I'm waiting.
of places.
I'm waiting.
So if you're watching,
Yeah.
he wants to fill a whitetail tag this year.
Yeah, everybody's all talk. Everybody's all talk. No, I'm just kidding.
Where is like a dream location or a dream hunt for you? Well, obviously whitetail, but like, you know.
Yeah. Honestly, it'd be fun to go Wyoming elk hunting. That'd be fun. I don't know. I'd just like to backpack in somewhere and go, you know, on a couple-day trip. That would be fun. I've never done anything like that in the hunting world, but I used to do that just in general. There's a lot of cool places to do that.
So when I was digging through your social media, I saw a photo which I had saved in my phone. It was like the first on your scroll, and it's you like standing on the top of a mountain pondering life with like a backpack and your hiking gear and stuff. I wanted to ask you about
still
that.
On there?
It is, and I have my phone here somewhere. I took a screenshot of it. Wait,
no.
Let me find it here. Where is that photo? So I can, because I want to get the story
That's funny.
behind this. Here we go. This one.
It's probably. Oh yeah. Okay.
You're like Gandalf on the top of the mountain, you know, but I'm sure there's a good one.
Yeah, that's Siler's Bald, I believe, in North Carolina, in Franklin. It's just a cool spot to go hike. Yeah, that was we used to do that quite a bit actually. I had a buddy that enjoyed doing it too. We'd just backpack in and, you know, go stay for a couple nights, and it's part of the app trail, so you can kind of hop on and hop off if you want to hike just a little bit of it. You know, there's sections to get off and on. But yeah, Siler's Bald is right up there, and it's just a beautiful spot. You know, I just enjoyed being outside and doing that. I did a lot more of things like that, and you know, ginseng hunting, all that kind of stuff.
How do you hunt ginseng?
Well, you know what ginseng is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's you basically just look for.
It's foraging, right? You're foraging for it.
Yeah. And there's a season for it back home, and typically in the fall, I believe the leaves just start wilting and they'll change colors a little bit, so it's more of a yellowish color as opposed to looking like poison ivy, because it looks just like poison ivy.
Gotcha.
The leaves are almost identical. So I don't know. There's better times to go, and it makes it easier to spot. But
So there's a lot of people who've had accidents ginseng hunting and consuming poison ivy.
Yeah, hopefully not. No, it also has like a red berry to it when it's in season too, so that helps. But yeah, there's different things. I just enjoyed just being outside, doing stuff like that, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun. We did a lot of that stuff.
You probably love elk hunting then, if you like the physicality of that and being in those types of environments. I could see that you would enjoy elk hunting and being out. Yeah,
I think so too.
That's awesome. Well, I know that you're a dad as well, and obviously married with 2 kids. I want to talk about that because I have a little girl too, and I know everything changes once you start to raise a family, and you're not just living for yourself in the world. You're now responsible for shaping these 2 little people. Like, what is that like for you, raising a family in the entertainment industry, and then like with the roots that you have, trying to shape them and give that to them too?
Yeah, it's tough, man. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to do my best. You know, we've been on the road quite a bit, and
are they coming with you, or did they stay at home?
Not really, not yet.
Yeah.
Sprinter van's not too enticing to them right now with a bunch of guys, but you know, we're getting there, and that's what the grind's all about for me. You know, I don't care about anything else. I just want to, you know, be able to have that option to, you know, have them out when they want to come and when it's easy and makes sense. But I don't know. I feel like the more important things are, you know, the moments you do have, you got to be there, you know, like you got to be present. And so I try to be mindful of that when I am home. Like if I have a 2 or 3 day stretch home, you know, I'll try to just work from the house or, you know, do whatever so I can be around them. So there's a balance. You can find it. It's obviously been done. I feel like there's been many guys before me do it. Thomas Rhett's a good example. You know, he's a great guy in that sense too. So I think you just got to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, I agree with you about the being present when you're there as well. Do you what do you love to do with them when you're home?
Honestly, we just play. I mean, so I got my oldest is 3, and so they're still at that age where they just want to run around and pick up sticks and stuff. So it's pretty easy right now for me. I just stay outside with them. But it's a lot of fun, man. I love this age.
It's awesome. So my 2-year-old is staying upstairs with her dad, and you were just saying about the running thing. I asked them to go for a walk at the park before this started because you could hear the dum 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 before the
get them outside right now. Yeah, same. Mine they just love being outside too. I guess they come out on us, but it's pretty easy for me to entertain them right now.
Tell me this, have you what have been some of the most challenging points in your career so far? And then some of the highlights, obviously the number one, but have there been any that stand out for you?
I think just in the musical sense, one of the biggest highlights was getting an album out.
Yeah.
That was something I wanted to check off my bucket list for a while. One of the other cool things that happened recently was we had our first sold out show, which was really cool.
That's awesome. Where was that?
It was up in Million Dollar Cowboy in Wyoming.
Oh, I've been there.
Just got back there. Yeah.
Super cool.
Cool. Very cool spot.
Yeah.
So it was cool to have one in that setting too. And
for sure.
And, I don't know, that was a big bucket list thing for me, but I feel like there's little ones along the way that, sometimes it's hard to enjoy them in the moment, but when you look back, you're like, dang, that was pretty cool.
A lot of people think, the overnight success story and don't understand the grind behind it and the continued grind. Even when you have a number one, people think, oh, you've made it now. And you're like, mate, it's just begun.
100%, yep. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think I don't expect people to feel sorry for me. I mean, this is like a dream gig, right? So it's like, I get frustrated a lot being on the road, but that's just part of it, man. You either break through that next tier or you don't. And I think it's just all on how much you want it, really.
And I think no matter what you're doing in life, you're going to find frustrations, right? But you might as well be doing something that's your purpose. Welcome to the Velvet Vault. This 3rd floor luxury suite is located right in the heart of historic downtown Nashville. The Velvet Vault is professionally designed, decorated, and appointed with modern amenities, including an elevator, with spacious accommodations for up to 12 guests, including 4 en-suites and a bunk area perfect for couples, friends, or families traveling together. With a large living space and huge kitchen island and bar setting, karaoke stage, and a pool table. With beautiful views over the Cumberland River, Nissan Stadium, and surrounding areas. With only a short walk to Honky Tonks, Broadway, concerts at Nissan Stadium, Bridgestone Arena, Ascend Amphitheatre, restaurants, farmers markets, shops, and more. For more information on how to book the gorgeous Velvet Vault, simply check out the QR code or head to their Instagram, velvetvault.nashville. Country Outdoors podcast is proudly presented by Nomad Outdoor. Guys, we've worked with Nomad Outdoor since the beginning of Country Outdoors, and there's a reason for that. They have the absolute best hunting apparel in the hunting industry. We have worn their clothing spring. We've worn their clothing in the fall. We've worn their clothing in the summer. We've worn their clothing on the ice. We've worn it everywhere. We absolutely love it. Guys, they're a Southeastern brand. They represent us. They represent sportsmen and women. Whether it's in the field or by the campfire, Nomad Outdoor has something for every occasion. So you'll come on, go check them out. Zach, myself, and the Country Outdoors family are proud to have Hawk Optics as a sponsor. When it comes to clarity, precision, and overall quality of the product, we have found Hawk Optics to be top of the line and field tested their products year round and had great success. You can check out this example here on the screen of my recent Colorado elk hunt where I harvest this monster bull elk using the Frontier 30 SF hooked up onto my fix from Q. Do you have any beliefs or faith beliefs?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been, I grew up in church and I've always been around that, so that's definitely something that, helps with that. I feel like it takes some of the pressure off of, having to, if you don't achieve all these goals, then, you know, what does that look like? And it's like, for me right now, where I'm at in my career, it's like the icing phase for me, where like, I mean, I did just, you know, in the most non-douchey way, I did just check off a lot of these bucket list things, you know, and it's like, you know, that was just very cool to me, and it's almost like a spot where everything beyond that point, you know, like I said, is just icing. So I'm just trying to enjoy that part of this phase, being able to, I always say too, it's fun to like be on the creative side of things, where you get to, you know, write an idea from nothing. You can bring something to life in that regard, and then you know, take it to the studio. And like my process is that I get to be heavily involved on the studio side of things. And you kind of give it some color and, you know, bring it to life, and then you give it a life once you release it. So it's like a full circle thing. Yeah, and then you get to go on the road and play it live and see people sing it back. So I'm trying to enjoy all that, man. It's really cool to see, and like, you know, everybody that has done it. Aldean's one guy who told me, like, dude, enjoy. These are the days you're gonna be, you know, sitting around talking about. So
we talk about that a lot in my household, the grind. And, you know, we started Country Outdoors I started in 2019 as a podcast, but then the brand, the hunting show and everything started in 2020, right before the pandemic happened.
Wow.
And we were waiting for sponsors to all join, and it literally, we got down to Florida to turkey hunt. And my husband went to the grocery store, and he was like, there's all these people lined up with like shopping carts with toilet paper and all of this. And we were like, what are we going to do? And we managed to get a camper and go out west and essentially boondock and hunt the entire time. Wow. But we were so broke.
Yeah.
Like, we were so broke. And we talk about like that grind and how we've, like, you know, God, really, it's God.
Sure,
like, God, when you listen to what he wants for you, you don't need to have everything. You don't need all the things. He will always provide. And that grind is like, you're going to reflect on that and be like, that was such a good shaping time for me. It was like, I learned so much. And he's always chiseling away in those moments where you're waiting for something or longing for something, and you maybe you don't have like a big endorsement or whatever it is, but it's like, he's always going to take care of you.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your crew? How has it been like, because I know that's such a big thing for, you know, whether or not, like, for us, you know, the group that we travel and hunt with, our producer and all of that, but for you guys, it's like, it's all about the energy, right? And if you've got something that's off, it can affect everybody. But when you've got something really good, it's like they're your family, right?
100%, yeah. It's been a lot of fun, man. That's honestly a big part of what keeps me on the road, or kept me on the road early on. Was having my guys out with me. My bass player and drummer, we've been friends since you know, middle school and high school.
That's
We've
awesome.
known each other from back home. So, you know, they're guys that I trust and know, you know, to the core they're good dudes. And so it's cool to have them out and having that success together. And then, you know, I've got two of the first guys I met when I moved to Nashville as well in our band. And it's just been a lot of fun, man. We've all grinded enough together over the last, you know, 5-6 years that I feel like, you know, even individually, music, I think that's the one thing that you know, ties us all together, is that we all, like, music was all of our things. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's been fun to do it with them, and
You're all winning together.
yeah,
it's a cool thing.
Yeah, it is, and we're friends off the road too.
For
you know?
sure.
So that helps. It's just fun to, you know, like I said, have success for good people. So
Well, and having someone who you went to school with, I mean, I'm sure when you're having days that are challenging, just being able to converse with someone who's known you for so long and not have to filter anything is a massive relief, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. It's not always pretty. Right?
No, anybody being around each other all the time annoys each other, but like.
Yeah, we've been in some fist fights for sure. But, you know, it's like you just, you know, lay it on each other and then you freaking make up. You know,
Yeah.
It's like. I think when you know your team's like bought
brothers.
in, you know you'll work it out eventually.
Yeah.
But sometimes you gotta throw some stuff at each other first.
I love that. What about your family? So I want to get back to the, you know, outdoor roots. What are some of the earliest memories of you with your family? Who got you into hunting? Was it your dad or uncle or grandpa? Or?
Yeah, honestly, a couple of my friends got me into it mainly. My dad he wasn't a big hunter. You know, he was always working, I guess.
What did he do for work?
He was a property manager for a lot of my working years, my early working years. But, you know, I was always working a job, started, you know, pumping gas for people at the tire shop when I was like 14, you
Love
know,
that.
and cut grass. I had yards on the side. I would go cut and, you know, just to make extra money. And that's just the way I came up. And I don't know, my dad was he would rather be playing ball. He was a ball guy. He loved playing baseball and softball and golf. That's his thing now.
Is he supportive of the music though?
100%.
That's
yeah.
great.
He's always been cool with it, and you know, bought me my first nice guitar that you know I still rock. It's a Martin J40, and I don't know. It's just he's one of those guys. He just would rather have been. Ginseng was more our thing. Like I said, that's something that we always did a lot together. But yeah, all my uncles hunted, and I had, you know, cousins that were always going out and shooting big deer, and I'm like, man,
One day.
it looks fun. Yeah. No, it was fun, and honestly, I'm kind of thankful I got into it when I did, because if I would have probably waited a little bit longer, I wouldn't have had time to like really fall in love with it. You know what I mean? So I at least got that. I at least caught the bug, you know, before it, you know, ship sailed. But yeah, I didn't, you know, grow up with a hunting. I don't have a lifetime license. You know what I mean?
No, I got into hunting in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Which gives away how old I am. But no, I mean,
years ago.
yeah, that was 5 years ago. No, I love that. I think that's one of the really cool things at the moment is there's just been such a growth in the outdoor industry, and I think the pandemic had something to do with that too. A lot of people realized you can't necessarily rely on the government to feed you and all that stuff around that. And so participation in the outdoors has become a massive thing. Yeah. I'm one of those people that thinks it's never too late to try something. So,
Same.
no, that's really cool. I love that. So tell me this, if you had like a dream vision of what the next 12 months of your life looks like, and which is very hard because, you know, there could be another pandemic tomorrow or this bird flu thing that people keep talking about. I don't know. What does that look like for you now?
That's a good question. No, I hope it's you know, more of this, more of you know, growth. That's kind of where we're at too. I'm like, man, we got to lock in. You know, it's that time of year too. On the road.
CMA around the corner.
Yeah. It's just there's a lot coming, so I'm enjoying. I got a week off, so I'm like.
What are you doing with your week?
This.
Yeah.
Just
working.
Yeah. I'm in town, so it's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm gonna enjoy this week and hopefully get some stuff done on the touring side of things, and you know, it's just you're always just trying to make your life easier on the road, right? It's a little thing.
For sure.
So it's been fun to watch that grow as well, and yeah, I don't know. We've been kind of all over the place as far as, you know, location-wise this year. So that's been really fun to get to hit a few East Coast, West Coast, you know, Midwest. We've been all over Ohio. I love Ohio. But
where's somewhere that you haven't toured yet that you are looking forward to going?
I'm going to Alaska in a couple weeks. Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
How long are you there?
Just a little less than a week, I believe.
See, you need to be lining up some salmon fishing or something.
Oh, somebody told me they've already lined it up. So I'm just gonna show up and.
I know Dylan Marlowe had done something pretty cool up there. I don't know if you know him at all,
I do, yeah.
He could probably connect you with if that doesn't work out as well.
Yeah,
you need to do that. That is like top of my bucket list. Salmon fishing and then bear hunting. up in,
Oh, that would
or
be fun.
moose or any of that up there.
That would be fun.
That's going to be epic.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Do you know where you're staying and where you're going?
No idea.
Is it for a show?
I haven't looked that far ahead yet. Yeah, it is a show. Yeah, I'm like a week at a time guy.
Yeah, I get that when you've got it. Yeah.
Yeah. If that.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be fun. I think it's up near Anchorage, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I've heard it's very pretty.
You need to do that for sure.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I've got a little game that I'm going to play with you,
Okay.
and we have as well. Well, do you want to pull out Guess the Score? Let's do this. Okay.
20 questions.
Kind of. Okay, pull one out and read it and let us know what it says.
Oh boy. Most memorable moment in career and the woods. Woods was probably last year. I was hunting up in Minnesota, and I had, actually it was two seasons ago. I had this. I was sitting in this stand. It was kind of on the corner of like a cornfield, and it was, 2 or 3 feet of snow on the ground. And I hunt, my father-in-law lets me hunt his land up in Minnesota.
That's nice.
Yeah, very nice of him. But yeah, I'm sitting out in the stand, and he'd been seeing a buck come through that area on his trail cam, and so he was texting me like, hey, try this stand tonight, and so I got up in there, and it was my I think I was in a stand. I was trying to remember if that was the first time I saddle hunted or not, but I saddle hunted this year, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've saddle hunted a fair bit, and it's definitely like lets you move around a lot easier.
Yeah, I just like kind of being more upright, instead of.
First time you do it, it's a little sketchy angle. Though. You're kind of you're like
It is, yeah, I agree. I guess it depends on the platform to me. If it's still wobbly, then I'm
the tree has to be straight. Like if you're on a weird angle, it can be not great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was using the bottom of just a regular, stand, and it was a chore getting up there because obviously I wanted to get up. I want to see how high I could get in the saddle, and it was just fun. It was a good workout getting up there, pulling that platform up, because it wasn't the one made for that setup.
Yeah.
So I was just using whatever I had, and it was fun though. Anyway, back to 2 years ago. I'm sitting in a stand and been seeing this buck come through. He's, probably 4 or 5 years old, if I remember right, and I sat in that stand 2 nights in a row. The first night, I saw him, but he stayed pretty good distance away. He never really came my direction. And then the second night, I'm sitting out there again, and he's coming from the right side. There's a like path coming down from the right side. He's probably 200 yards out at this point, and I have like maybe 2 windows to shoot through.
Yeah.
And through the branches, and there's one trail that comes right underneath me and goes behind me, and then the cornfield's kind of out in front of me, and I'm sitting there, and I scoped him and saw saw him come out finally. It was very close to being dark.
Yeah, minutes.
Yeah, I probably had half an hour when he showed his face, so I'm like, okay, there's time.
Yeah.
But I'm getting ready, and he comes through. There's kind of swamps behind me, and I'm hoping he's gonna come right up underneath me, right? Obviously, and he decides to go this way. He was chasing a doe, and I didn't know at first kind of what he was doing, but he took forever to come out.
Yeah.
And actually move out. But then I realized he was chasing a doe that was pretty good ways behind in the woods behind me.
Yeah.
Anyway, she came up right, 5 feet from my stand. So I'm like, okay, he's coming.
Yeah.
And he started picking his pace up a little bit. Well, I had the bright idea I had my bow hanging on the opposite side. I shoot right-handed, so I'm like trying to reach across. I think I was reaching across so I had it hanging here. So I'm like reaching around to get it, and I come up and I'm setting my release in, and I look down and the doe had snuck around to the front side of the ladder. It was a ladder stand.
Underneath you.
And she was just staring at me.
Yep.
And I was like, trying not to move, but I knew.
You're like, well, something's going to die today, and it's not going to be him.
It's not going to be him. And no, she busted me, and he was probably like 30 yards behind me. I could hear him. He was coming in. You know, he picked up his pace a lot, but yeah, she busted me, and I never saw him again.
Yeah.
So.
Bow hunting is so challenging. There's always those moments like that, and you're just like,
yeah,
that stings.
And it's like you're trying to prepare for. I prepare for hours, right?
Yeah.
And then I like look away for 5 seconds, and then all of a sudden she's right underneath me, right?
Yeah.
It's like those type of things are what make it really hard, in my opinion.
For sure.
To like actually,
unpredictable.
Yeah, get a good shot off, and you know.
I was hunting Iowa last year during my Iowa tag, and there's one pretty decent buck came in, and he wouldn't stop. Like, I couldn't get him to stop at all, and I was like going mah, 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 and so I just had to try and shoot while he was moving, and I missed, like, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Twice.
Several times.
Yeah. It does sting. I had a funny miss last year. I was shooting glow tips, and I was in Minnesota again, and waited all night. I sat out in the stand for two or three nights. Saw deer, ton of deer, but never never had anything come in range of like, you know, me throwing anything at it until it was like the last day. I'm sitting out in the stand, and this massive doe, I had one doe tag, this massive doe comes out of the woods, and I'm like, man, it's about to be dark. I'm like,
do I want to mess with
this?
Yeah,
do I want, because I love deer meat. Like,
yeah.
It's my favorite. I'll eat it chopped up, you know, fried on, and throw it on the fryer and eat it, or, you know, deer jerky is my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna take a shot at it. She was probably 45, 50 yards out, so it was.
It was a poke anyway.
Yeah. But yeah, she came broadside right up over top of the ridge, and I shot, and I was about 6 yards behind her. So
Look.
I lost my glow tip. That's how bad of a shot it was. I couldn't even see the glow. I really was pissed about that one.
All right, guys, I have a confession to make. I have a terrible sense of direction, and it's no wonder I haven't got lost in the woods or eaten by a bear at this stage, but there's a reason for that, and it's because I have onX Hunt. onX Hunt is incredible. It's an incredible mapping feature, and it has helped me navigate my way out of some pretty sketchy areas using the compass feature. I've been able to get back to my truck. I've been able to drop pins and waypoints to be able to coordinate how to get to A to B, to be able to find that turkey that I saw on the road and knock and get permission. Guys, though, if you really want to know who's a fanatic at dropping pins, it's my husband, Zach. If you look in his phone, he has thousands of these pins. If it was the 1920s, he'd be able to trade them and get some money out of them. But don't take my opinion. Go and download onX today and check it out for yourself. Good luck this fall. When you think of the biggest hunting shows, the most legendary hunting shows in outdoor television, what channel do you think of? Outdoor Channel. Country Outdoors is very proud of our partnership with Outdoor Channel, which started during the pandemic in 2020 with our turkey tour, and which has now evolved into a popular adventure series 4 years later. We are available on all Outdoor Channel digital outlets, including My Outdoor TV. And guys, they're giving out a free subscription to My Outdoor TV, so go and check it out.
Everybody misses, and if they say that they don't, they're lying. That's
Yeah.
it. Like my husband edited and produced all the big outdoor hunting shows before he became a host with us and came into Country Outdoors. But the biggest ones like Lee and Tiffany, Swarovski, Craig Morgan show all of that stuff, and they all miss. They just edit it so that it doesn't. We show a fair bit of what, like majority of it. We don't show the stuff that's like, you just can't show that, but like
Right.
majority of the time we show misses because it's relatable. Like,
Yeah.
you know, even
Yeah, it
Cameron Haynes
happens.
even misses.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. That one I knew was I was living on a prayer, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I
could've got
clipped
lucky.
something too. Like clipped,
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the thing too. So what I didn't even account for on my hunt is the arc. And my husband's like, he's bow hunted his whole life. So he is so better at all of that stuff than I am. And
Right.
I was replaying to him exactly what I did on that specific hunt. And he's like, oh, and then they watched it back and he's like, yeah, you hit like the branch above, it had
see it
arced.
break off. Yeah.
Yeah, and so all that stuff that you're not necessarily accounting for in the second as it's coming down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Her family's up in Minnesota. Do you guys ice fish up there at all?
Yeah, yeah, I do
That's
a
so
lot of
much
that while
fun.
I'm up there. Her brother's a big ice fisherman, and yeah, it's sturgeon, walleye.
And that is a blast,
Trout.
isn't it?
Yeah, one of the funny moments is first time he took me out on the ice. You know, I'm a southern boy, right? Like,
Yeah.
driving on ice is just not a thing that is a reality for me. But he's like, come on. He's like, I usually go out, 11, 12 inches. We're good. I'm like, all right, cool. And got my window cracked. The whole all the things. My seatbelt off for driving out.
Yeah, so you can be ready to escape.
Yeah, I'm ready. But we drive out there, get set up. We just had a little two-man. He's got a little two-man. They call him Ice House, Ice Castle, whatever.
Yep. The Yeti.
Yeah, he set it, bank it up, get in there. The very first fish I caught was a bass, and he was like,
That's-
of course you would come up here and catch a bass.
That is awesome.
So it's a lot of fun. We go pretty much every time I'm up there. if
I
we
love
can.
that.
Yeah.
No, that is, and it's so chilled out as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like pizza, a couple beers, whatever, a
Oh,
heater,
yeah.
and it's just,
Yeah.
that's a bunch of fun.
So much fun.
What lake do you guys go out on?
There's a few. I think that trip was Red Lake.
Okay.
It's very far north. I
Yeah.
think it's actually
Oh,
split into
is that part of the
Canada.
Great Lakes?
Yeah, I believe
think
so.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the Canadian border
Yeah.
runs like through the middle
Oh,
of the
it's
lake.
gorgeous up there,
Yeah.
and all of those little towns, you can get the best like seafood as you go up there, smoked trout and all of that stuff.
I bet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, we'll do one more, and then we're going to do a guess the score competition with you.
All right, let's see. Let me trade here. Best quote you've ever heard. Oh man, I'm trying to think of good quotes.
What I like about quotes is it's different for every person what they remember because they connect it to their life.
Yeah. I mean, something that I've always, I either dreamed that my grandfather told me this or he actually told me this before he passed, but be bold, stay humble, always forgive. There's just three things to remember in life. It's
good.
something, I try to apply it. It's hard, but yeah, I don't remember if he actually told me that or not, but that's, that was his life. I know
Was
that.
he a believer?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Great guy. I'm trying to think of like actual quotes.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I enjoy that one. I'm trying to think. You might have me stumped on the quotes.
I think that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That's about as good as it gets. That's great advice.
Yeah.
The one that
I
I
thought
love
so.
is work hard in silence and let success make the noise. And
Say it one more time.
work hard in silence and let success make the noise.
That's cool.
And I find that so like relatable for today because we're, with social media and all of this, and when you get into comparison and all of that stuff, it's like reminds you to put your head down, focus on what you're good at, treat the people around you well, and you just focus on running your own race and it will show for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, I feel like the other one the only other one I can think of was, you know, walk the walk instead of talking the talk. You know, if you're gonna do it, do it. That's something that I've always remembered that one too. I don't remember, my old man probably told me that one.
I agree with you, and that's something in my like 30s I've been trying to do a lot more of. You notice, like, you don't have to be the loudest person in the room. Most confident people, a lot of the most successful people are actually the people that aren't saying that much.
Yeah.
You know, ironic that we're on a podcast talking, but outside of a podcasting environment, you don't have to be and that's something to do with nervous energy and stuff like that, I think, as well. When people are constantly like trying to, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, yada yada yada, and it's like I think that's a lacking confidence. I think when you know what your purpose is and you're working towards that, you can move humbly, like your grandpa said, and yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I agree.
I like it. All right, we're going to do a guess the score.
Guess the score.
Now, I haven't seen these either. Well, one of them I've seen, but I don't know the scores on either of these. So you and I are both going to try and figure this out.
Okay. Oh, boy.
That's it.
All right, this is an Iowa deer.
Mm.
And it was aged at 6.5.
Okay.
May not be what you think of when you typically think Iowa, but it's an old deer.
Yeah.
And I have 3 photos. So
Okay.
just let me know when. And
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
That's a nice deer.
Can you go to the first one again, please? Okay. I'm going to say 156.
I was 160.
that deer scored 139 and 4/8.
Really?
Those photos are tricky.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also because you said Iowa, I'm thinking
I know.
that's deceptive.
That was good.
I tried to throw in Iowa, but not your standard, you know. But
He
he's
got
an
us.
old
He got
deer.
us with that one. I'm thinking the photos aren't really showing. Okay.
Wow.
That back paddle is quite thick, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or is that something else?
I believe I have 3 of this one as well.
Okay. Yep. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I don't even have a clue on this, dude.
I'm going to go with 382.
Wow. I'll go under 360.
380.
Oh!
Wow. Nice. Nice.
Yeah!
Good one.
Awesome. Well, it's been a
Yeah.
pleasure having you on
Yeah.
here and learning a little bit more about you.
Yeah,
Where
thanks.
can people check out upcoming shows and everything that you're doing? Obviously, streaming you on Spotify, Apple, and all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's always a huge thing. Numbers mean everything. So, yeah, you can go find us anywhere, Instagram, YouTube, wherever.
And you're touring all around the country this year, so people
Yeah.
can grab tickets to your show.
You can.
Yep.
All the tour dates will be. We're about to post some stuff coming up. We're doing a headlining fall tour, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's amazing.
But yeah, you can find our dates. I think there's in my bio there's a link you can click on, at least on Instagram, and figure out where we're gonna be. But yeah, man, all over the place. We're keeping the roads hot, so I'm excited.
And download the album Carolina Blue, which
Carolina
is
Blue.
out now. And we hope to see you with a whitetail tag field this fall. If you have any hunting land available and you want to invite him and you're not a serial killer,
please.
let us know.
Even if you are, we can work something out.
Yeah, I
We can
mean,
work
you
something out.
just go packing. That's right, we can work it out. Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise.
Cheers.